The New Orleans Saints take on the New England Patriots this weekend inside the Caesars Superdome. And right now, the Patriots are still holding strong at a 3.5-point favorite.
Really? I didn't know we were the favorite.
No. The Patriots, I said.
Shoot.
Yeah, sorry.
Misheard you, or you misspoke.
No, you misheard me. I'm a real boy.
I'm a real boy. Dude, they got out there just with the blower out there?
Yeah,
outside the door. We're trying to do radio.
We're trying to do radio here. Award-winning radio.
Award.
Chill out.
Yeah,
God.
come on. The award for the best show of the year goes to... Anyhow. Yeah, 3.5-point dogs. Okay. Home dogs. I think that's probably the way Drake May's playing.
Now, your plus 3.5 is minus 125. So we could see a little bit of a line movement, maybe.
Probably plus 3. Okay, so, everybody getting a little respect. Drake May's getting a lot of respect. But, you know what? I think Spencer Rattler and the gang, the Saints, coming off their first victory, can we adopt the 1-0 mindset for this week? I think we got a shot at it, boys. I think I've predicted the Saints to win every single week. I ain't going to stop. I'm not going to stop.
Maybe not the Buffalo week. I don't think you did that week.
Mm-hmm. Oh, do want to say something.
That's why we have a 3-hour radio show.
Yeah, I got 3 hours to say something, I guess. So speaking of the Saints, speaking of Rattler playing good, I guess who's coming on the show tomorrow morning?
Spencer Rattler?
The starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, Spencer Rattler.
That's right.
He'll be joining the show tomorrow morning, I believe sometime in the 7 o'clock hour.
Early bird gets the worm?
Early bird gets the worm. That's right. First one in, last one out.
Let's go.
Team
Looking
leader.
forward to that. Had a chance to interview him a couple times before. It's a great interview. Looking forward to his insight. And, where'd he play college football?
I think he played at USC.
Which is in the South?
Yeah, South Carolina. So I don't know if anybody's keeping count out there, but if you're tracking the big-time SEC opponents this year, we played Ole Miss. We had Patrick Willis, who was bad luck.
He was kind of
South Carolina.
He's a Hall of Famer.
The first person that came to our minds when we were playing South Carolina
was
Mr. Spencer Rattler.
Wait a minute. Y'all didn't have a Florida Gator? Yeah, duh. We hate Florida.
Yeah, because Florida stinks.
Not giving them the airwaves.
Yeah, they
lost
suck.
your mind. We'll give others. Like, I'll even give Texas A&M the airwaves.
Yep.
Think Moffitt will call in?
So yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So I really kind of want to, of course, there's lots of questions we need to get down to with Spencer, but I really just want to know what Spencer Rattler approved nickname for Spencer Rattler is. That's really kind of where my head's at on this one.
Are you going to ask him?
Yeah, is it Rat Pack? Rat Dat?
Yeah. I think Rat Dat. Right? Jordan? Adam?
Rat Dat?
I mean, y'all live in New Orleans, right?
I guess his group of fans can be the Rat Pack.
Okay, all right.
Well, we need to come up with a good handful of them, and we'll ask him tomorrow which one he
At
approves.
least 3 choices. At least 3 choices. So looking forward to that tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to the game this weekend because it's a great opportunity for the Saints. Look, this is a team in the Patriots that just went on the road, and they beat an undefeated Bills team. All right, they're me flying high, but you also got your first victory. And you kind of look at some of the places where you're strong, they have some weaknesses. So I think it's actually a decent matchup for the Saints, even though, look, again, I know that the Patriots have a winning record. I understand how Drake May's playing. Stephon Diggs, I don't know that he'll ever have the juice that he had he had last week against the Bills.
This is an emotional low for him, for sure. So this could be one of those games, which is tough. They come off a huge win, huge victory. Everybody's talking about how, kind of well they're playing, how Vrabel's doing up there, how well Drake May played. It's the NFL. Anything can happen any given week. I think this is a really good opportunity for the Saints to go out there and show. But they're not going to win the game if they can't be advantageous like they were last week. They have to take advantage of teams' mistakes. Every team makes mistakes in every single game. Some less than others, some bigger than others. Last week, there were some big mistakes that the Giants made, and we took advantage of those opportunities. There's so many times where you see teams drop an interception that was right in their hands, or a guy fumbles and the ball bounces around like a wet bar of soap and you don't get on top of it. Teams make mistakes. It's if you can take advantage. So there's going to be a handful of plays that are going to be the difference between whether or not the Saints can take advantage of and beat a team who, on paper, is probably better than them. But we're going to be saying that a lot this year. But I see, we just want to see the Saints fan base wants to see growth every single week. People being a little bit better, a little bit more disciplined. Coach Moore being just taking the next step every single week. Just let's get a little bit better. Let's start stacking successes on top of each other and seeing improvement. So if we can do that and be advantageous when the mistakes do occur, because they will happen on both sides, can they take advantage of them?
And also, going back to the Spencer Rattler portion of this, like, look, there's some people out there, and I know Taylor, he actually linked, there was an article that somebody, let's see, I want to make sure I get the name right. Cody Benjamin of CBS Sports, he did his NFL quarterback power rankings, okay? And he put Spencer Rattler 31st. And look, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. You can have your own rankings. You can do whatever you want, right? And certainly we're going to see different rankings that have Spencer Rattler all over the place. But I would have to sit down and watch tape with who put this together, and you'd have to tell me why. Like, I am big, and look, that's what we learned. We're forged in telling me why. Jimbo Fisher's biggest thing was tell me why. Whatever it was, good or bad, tell me why. Yep. Why did you do what you did? He's got him only ahead of Cooper Rush, who's starting for the Ravens right now. He's got him behind Joe Flacco, behind Bryce Young, behind Cam Ward, behind Geno Smith, Dylan Gabriel, Justin Fields, Jackson Dart, Carson Wentz. Like, that's just trying too much.
You're trying to make too big a deal. So I think it's the easy button for people that don't really know ball or don't really like. I mean, it's hard to go watch game tape of every single quarter. Like, if you're doing one of these rankings, you can't go watch like detailed game footage of 32 quarterbacks. I get it. I think it's the easy button to say, well, Spencer Rattler, he's 0-10 in his first, 10 starts, and not really look at kind of everything else. But unfortunately and fortunately, right, quarterbacks, that's the ultimate judge right there is the win-loss record. But you also have to look at the situation around. You have to watch the situation around. If you're ranking just actual quarterback play, certainly is a outrageous ranking right there.
No, it is, and I think it's just somebody that hasn't seen Spencer Rattler play. You don't factor in some of the issues that his offensive line have had. You don't factor in some of the plays that have not been made by some of his weapons. Again, like I don't have stock in Spencer Rattler, right? It's not like if he plays better that I get paid off at. Like, no, I just look at the situation that he's been put in, and I think he is highly efficient so far this year. I think there were some things that you wanted him to take more chances on, which he did a week ago. I think last week was his best game. And now I think you can build off that. What did we say when he got the starting nod? I think he can thrive better in a chaotic situation than Tyler Shutt can. And he's done that, right? I mean, again, the pass protection has been horrid. Certainly from the interior. Like the outside guys, the young guys, they are as advertised. They're really good players. But the interior has been really bad. And that's the hardest place to get pressure if you're a quarterback. And I think he's done well with that. Now, what is the ceiling? I don't think we know that yet. But let's not forget, at one time in his college career, he was going to be a first-round pick. Everybody, first-round pick, Spencer Rattler, it's going to be without question. Well, then he gets replaced. He got replaced with a guy that went number 1 overall. And everybody kind of forgot about Spencer Rattler. So I think there's still more juice left to squeeze there.
Yep.
I'm excited about the next couple of weeks for Spencer Rattler. I think last week gave him some confidence. He got a couple of players back. You get a Foster Moreau back. You get a Taysom Hill back. Rashid Shaheed is somebody that dominated in camp. He kind of looked like he took over as the number 1 option a week ago. So in the totality of all those things together, there ain't no way in hell there's 30 better quarterbacks right now than Spencer Rattler.
No.
I'd put him somewhere in the 17-18 range.
Yep. And you look at, kind of what he's done, and you got to look at year 1 to year 2 improvements. And to me, that's the biggest jump a quarterback's going to make in their career is year 1 to year 2, whether you're playing or not, whether you're like, that was the biggest jump I made in my career, and I wasn't playing, right? So it's year 1 to year 2 because you're starting to understand that first year. It's like, holy hell, this is a completely different sport being in the NFL. It's completely different. So you catch up. And you either do or you don't. You make that improvement or you don't. And we are seeing improvement, especially like you look at what Spencer's doing. He's being pressured, one of the most pressured guys in the league, and he has one of the least amount of sacks in the league. So he's doing a really good job of avoiding a lot. And we talked about, like, that's how he lived his life at South Carolina, was playing under pressure and having to take advantage. And you look at you got to take all these kind of stats with a grain of salt when you start talking and trying to talk somebody up or talk somebody down. But you look at NFL completion leaders to date. Dak Prescott sitting there at the most completions with 139. Matthew Stafford with 122. Spencer Rattler, third in the league with completions this season with 119, followed by Justin Herbert, 117, Patrick Mahomes, 116. Now, I say you got to take that with a grain of salt, because then you look at yards per completion or yards per attempt. Is it check down Charlie? Is it this? Is it that? And that's easy to do. But the fact of the matter is this guy is playing really well with really bad protection in the interior of this offense. You're playing against defenses that are playing bend and don't break defenses against you, making you take completions because of the lack of, the 53-man roster talent from top to bottom. Like, he's doing a lot with what he's given, and they're improving. They're working a whole new offense that looks to be improving. So all you want, like, as Saints fans, like, we're not expecting them to go and make the playoffs and make a run. As long as you see improvement week in, week out. Yeah, you're going to probably hit a road bump here where some things are going to go wrong. We saw it in the Seattle game, like just things like two special teams plays. You get a block punt, you get a kick, a punt return for a touchdown. It got out of hand. Can I say that the Saints not going to see that again this year? Probably will, just because of the other team being more advantageous than you, taking advantage of mistakes. But, like, I think consistently, week in, week out, if you're just showing improvement, you are going to win some games in the National Football League. And I think you're going to win a good handful more.
Yeah, I'm excited about this weekend because I want to see how they come back after being victorious, right? Getting your first win. How do you come back against a team that also is going to have some positive momentum after they went on the road and they beat the Buffalo Bills, an undefeated team in their stadium in a very difficult place to play? I think this is a great week to kind of see exactly where the Saints' development is. Again, like, we have no dreams of them going on a run and making it to the playoffs. That's not where we're at right now. But you want to see continued development. You want to see some foundational pieces being built here that can be the pillars, hopefully, of Kellen Moore here in the near future.